And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Guys, the tour continues, different day, different location, but I will be back to normal very soon, couple days after the wedding, Friday, should be back in the old studio. But yeah, guys, as I say, it's all happening at Glasgow Rangers at the moment. Of course, we are in the midst of our hunt for a new manager, of course, after Michael Beale was sacked on Sunday. And since then, the sort of normal process has taken shape. You know, a few names are sort of already immediately linked with the vacant position. And over these sort of days, people sort of declare that they're interested. Some people say that they're not interested. And then you kind of get more of a feel of what the actual shortlist actually looks like. And that's where we are at the moment. Yesterday's video, we spoke about Coven Muscat. We spoke about Janssen. We also spoke about my personal favourite, which doesn't look like he's going to be the manager, so don't worry, guys. I won't be speaking about him anymore. Graham Potter. There was, of course, Gallardo as well, Marcelo Gallardo. However, since I recorded that video last night, something worried me, massively so, as I started to hear rumours emerge that Frank Lampard could potentially be in with the running for the vacant managerial job at Rangers. Now, this is very worrying. If we're looking at getting Frank Lampard and the way that the media are going on at the moment, Lampard looks like he's now the new favourite. Kevin Muscat, as of yesterday, was the favourite. However, today we woke up with bookies' new favourite, that being Frank Lampard. And more worryingly, Ali McCoist, who has probably a word of weight within the Rangers camp, has said that he wouldn't mind. He said that he wouldn't mind him as the manager of Rangers. And I'm going to have to disagree with the club legend. I love Ali, but I think that's a horrendous shout. This is what he said on TalkSport this morning. It's an interesting one, and it might not be a popular decision. I'm going to make it, but I wouldn't mind Frank Lampard getting it and tell you the gospel truth. There are one or two names being thrown about, but I look at the same last time when Steven Gerrard came up, was a success. I still see Frank in that capacity, a young manager with a lot to prove. Clearly he does know the club, that's for sure. Now, wow, that is very worrying. Again, I don't know what Ali's on there. Look, I mean, a media friend, I'm not going to say how can Ali look at him and go, oh, he's going to be a good manager. He stunk the place out in the last few jobs that he's had. And again, we need to disassociate ourselves from these big name players. Steven Gerrard was a different period of our history. We're on our knees. We needed a big name just to attract some people and come in. We bought in on that project, and that was great. It took us about 3 years or 3 full seasons to win a trophy. And again, people call it success. Yes, it's a success for the context of the situation of where we were. However, I still think he underachieved. We should have won the treble that year. I do think he should have came away with 3 trophies at a bare minimum, and there's probably a case to say that he could have won even more in the earlier campaigns. But this is not about Steven Gerrard. This is about Frank Lampard. As I said, we need to disassociate ourselves from going in for sort of managers or these projects. We're not going anywhere with projects. Look at Celtic. They're bringing in Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers has years of experience. He's been a success at Celtic. Before that, they brought in Ange with experience. They're not bringing in former players or other teams that are real intent on doing stuff. They're not bringing in these projects and former players. We need to win now. We need to win things this season. And Frank Lampard, for me, is not going to cut it. Let's go through Frank Lampard's managerial career. Derby. Yes, he took over at Derby. Some would say he did a decent job, but Derby were finished in 5th, I think, the same year before, or 6th. They finished the same year before. They finished in the playoffs. And then Frank come in, they finished in the playoffs again. They got to the final, got beat by Aston Villa. He then took over the job at Chelsea. Some would say the first season at Chelsea was a success. He finished in the top 4 when they had a transfer embargo. And so I would say he got the best out of some younger players and did fairly well. However, when he did get his hands on the sort of war chest, and Chelsea spent a lot of money. This was under Roman Abramovich. They spent a lot of money in terms of backing. He brought in all of his players that he wanted to bring in. I think Kai Havertz was one of them. And again, They stunk the place out. They did really badly in January, and it made things even worse when a real manager with experience came in with the same group of players, went on to win the Champions League for them. Then used the same group of players to get to 2 finals, got to the FA Cup final, got to the League Cup final the year after. So I think it actually magnifies just how bad Frank Lampard actually is when a real manager came in and took them to that sort of success and to those finals. So that shows there. Then we're going to talk about Everton. Some would say, oh, he kept them up. Great. If that was his remit, he kept them up. But if he wasn't sacked in the January, they would have went down. So again, he come back in at Chelsea steady show. We're not really going to look on there. He came on an interim basis. But I seriously would be seriously worried if we do go in for someone like Frank Lampard. I can't see it happening. I really do hope that we don't go in for Frank Lampard. I think we need to be going in for experience. And as I said, I always stated that I wanted Graham Potter. Again, I know a lot of you disagree with me. It's fine. And I'm not going to bring him up. He doesn't look like he's going to get the job. But I look at Kevin Muscat. At least he has experience. At least he's won. Some would say that he hasn't got the experience in a European country, and that's fine. I think we can't judge that too much. But I'm looking at the AZ manager as well. He's had some experience. So these candidates should be definitely ahead of Frank Lampard. I'm not like what I'm reading this morning, that he's now the new favourite. That just can't be the case. And I just can't see him be the new favourite for the Rangers manager. And again, I don't think he will be appointed just by seeing the fans' backlash on social media. In terms of the way that fans are reacting to Frank Lampard potentially taking over, no one seems happy about it. And I certainly, for one, would not be happy with the appointment of Frank Lampard at Glasgow Rangers. So, maybe give him the time, speak to him and stuff like that. But he should certainly not be our number one target and should not be at the top of that shortlist. Certainly the shortlist that I've seen, I'm talking at least a good few players there should be ahead of him. Likes of Kevin Muscat, the likes of Janssen, the likes of Marcelo Gallardo. In fact, I'd even bring back Giovanni Van Bronckhorst before I brought Frank Lampard back. I do think Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has way more experience. He's won things. He's done well. And if we're going down that route of Frank Lampard, you should have just brought Gio in and gave him the money and actually backed him to let him get his own players. I'm not a big fan of that. And I really, really do hope that this Frank Lampard thing disappears because I can't see. I don't want him to be the new manager. But anyway, that's it, guys. We have got another game tomorrow, all behind Stephen Davis and the boys. We need to make sure that we get 3 points in this away tie in the Europa League. Carry on our good form within the Europa League, actually. We actually got off to winning ways. That's probably one of the bigger results that Michael Beale got, a win against Real Betis. However, again, we need to go against the worst team and get this 3 points and just continue and stay at the top. Because Europe might be the only place where we find success again this season, depending on who we get in as a manager. So all eyes turn to that. But Rangers fans, do let me know your thoughts on the whole managerial hunt situation. Do let me know your thoughts on Frank Lampard. Is there anyone in this sort of community that actually would like Frank Lampard as the manager? Does anyone agree with Ali? And if you do, please enlighten me as to why. I would love to find out. But that does bring us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. And make sure that you get your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section, guys. Take care. Poosh.